Neil, a tough defeat on the road today. What did you make of the performance?
So many things to take on board during today's game. It's hard to sort of come out and eloquently put across to you how I feel, because I'm really frustrated, and I know I've got a number of frustrated players in there. We were nowhere near what we've set ourselves, or the standards we've set ourselves in the last 3 or 4 games. We were nowhere near that in the first half. However, we defended our box really well from the long throws and the onslaught of what Tamworth are about. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's more than one way of playing a game of football, and they're very good at what they do in terms of the streetwise way they go about it. They load the box up from anything that goes out of play inside their own half. They kick it. Any free kicks inside their own half is coming into your box. Any throw-ins from inside our half is coming into our box. And we know that's the way we had to face that today and defend it. But it makes it difficult to sort of get into the rhythm of the way that we wanted to play. But at half-time, we spoke about how we needed to go through the gears and up it a little bit in terms of what we could do, how we could take the game to Tamworth. And then obviously everything goes out the window in the first minute of the second half with the sending off. And we'd already spoken, Eastie had said at half-time about how a number of their players were sort of trying to speak to the referee, and get him sent off. So he knew that he had to be very careful, and from what he says and how it looked from us at the side, he's tried to pull out the tackle just before collision. So again, a number of players surrounding the referee to help him to make that decision. And once that sending off happens, we're up against it. But it's not an excuse, because when we go down to 10 men, there's ways that you can kind of lose a game of football from there, and we're really disappointed with the goals that we conceded. And obviously that's something that we've got to address, and we've got to address quite quickly.
You did mention the referee there. Not necessarily him, but some of his decisions almost reflected the hectic nature of the game today. Is that how it felt out there?
Yeah, look, obviously fair play to Tamworth. They were excellent at what they do, how they try to go about the game, how they manage the game. The crowd get right behind them here and made a lot of noise. And I think that, maybe, the referee, if he had his time back to look at a couple of those decisions, would maybe reflect on them a bit differently. But I'm not a manager that's going to come out and criticise referees, because, as long as we take care of doing what we do, and we're the best version of ourselves, and we are our very best, and then something happens that the referee has an impact on the game, then you can look at that. But at the moment, we can only look at what we've got to do better as a group ourselves, and how we can bounce back from today. I think, on the crest of a wave of 3 wins on the bounce, and maybe the little bit of break in between with no game has kind of caught us out a little bit. It shouldn't do, because we've trained really well in between, but maybe from playing 3 games in 7 days to having 9-10 days without a game, that's probably caught us out a little bit, and we were probably not quite at the races in the manner that we started the game first half.
You mentioned again the same thing you mentioned on Friday, how Tamworth are really good at what they do. They seem to play their usual game today, and it came off for them.
Yeah, no, look, it's got to remember that Tamworth have had a really good FA Cup run this season, and Tottenham couldn't beat them over 90 minutes at this place. They're exceptional at what they do. Tonks puts the ball into the box from long throws, every opportunity. But it's just really disappointing when you look back at it and you think that both times we've played Tamworth, we've been level in the game until a sending off. So that's the disappointing thing from us, and we've played Tamworth twice now in 6 games and had a man sent off in both games. So that's really disappointing from our kind of view of it. Now, are the 2 red cards in each game red cards? I'm not so sure. However, you have to accept the hand that you dealt with. And look, we went over at the end of the game to apologise to the supporters, and I think we really need to apologise to the supporters on the basis of today. We want to give the fans something to get behind. We want to give the fans something that they can really sort of feel positive about. And obviously the last 3 games prior to this, we felt we were going in the right direction. We've got to really dust ourselves down off this. Can't carry any hangovers into Saturday. Watched Rochdale a few times, watched them again on Saturday against Altrincham. you know, we know what Rochdale will do. It'll be a completely different game to this in terms of the questions that Rochdale ask of you, and we've got to be ready in training this on Thursday, Friday to make sure we're ready for what Saturday's going to look like against Rochdale.
100%. Cheers for your time, Neil.